All right, today we're going to open a little window into a really pivotal moment in American history. But this isn't some dry story from a textbook. We're going to see it through the eyes of a young woman who was forced to grow up way, way too fast. Her name is Emily Auble, and her story kicks off in the summer of 1916. Just listen to that for a second. Sometimes I feel like I'm 1,000 years older than I was 3 months ago. She said that to a friend, and wow, it just perfectly captures this huge, sudden change she's about to go through. I mean, feeling 1,000 years older in just a few months, that's not just about starting a new job. That's about having a piece of your youth just stolen away. So here's the situation. It's July 1916. Emily Auble is just 16 years old, and her father has just died in an accident. And just like that, everything changes. The family's financial security? Gone. And with it, Emily's childhood is pretty much over. She has to drop out of school and get a job at Marston's department store. Okay, now I want you to try and imagine stepping into this place for the very first time. It's just a total sensory assault, you know? The constant cha-chinging of cash registers, the air is thick with this weird mix of perfume and floor polish, and everywhere you look there are these towering, intimidating displays of stuff. For a girl who was just in a classroom a few weeks ago, you can imagine how completely overwhelming that must have felt. And this new world she's in, it is all about rigid structure, and it's all enforced by her manager, a Mrs. Patterson. Think about this schedule. 6 days a week, 9 to 6. You have to be punctual, you have to be courteous, and the rules about how you look, I mean neat, modest, no flashy jewelry, hair pinned up. It's all about erasing who you are and just becoming another cog in the Marston's machine. So that first week on the job, it wasn't just about learning how to work the register or fold clothes. Oh no, it was a test of pure endurance, both for her body and her mind. And the way it's described, man, you can really feel her struggle. Her feet are just aching constantly from standing on those hard floors all day. Her head is spinning, trying to remember all the prices and rules. And every single mistake, and believe me, there were a lot of them, from giving the wrong change to dropping a whole tray of buttons, every single one happened under the sharp, critical eye of Mrs. Patterson. You can just feel that constant sting of embarrassment, can't you? But then, right when she's about to hit her breaking point, there's this little moment of grace. Another shop girl, her name's Margaret, sees her scrambling on the floor with the spilled buttons, and instead of judging, she just gets down, helps her pick them up, and says these simple, kind words. It's such a small thing, right? But for Emily, in that ocean of stress and criticism, it was an absolute lifeline. But then she gets home, and that brave face she's been putting on all day, it just collapses. She breaks down and tells her mother, Georgia, her deepest fears. And look, this isn't just about being worried she's bad at a job. It's about the terrifying possibility of failing her family right when they need her the most. That kind of weight on a 16-year-old's shoulders, it's just immense. But here's the thing about Emily. She doesn't fail. Despite all the exhaustion and the fear, something starts to shift. She begins to adapt. She starts to learn the unwritten rules of this new world and, well, she starts to find her place in it. And her progress is, honestly, it's pretty incredible. Week 1 was just about pure survival, right? But by week 3, she's actually finding her rhythm. She's starting to anticipate what customers want before they even ask. And those constant corrections from her manager, they start to get fewer and farther between. She is learning on her feet, and she is learning fast. And then comes the moment. A senior colleague, this woman, Miss Weber, who had always seemed kind of cold and distant, she gives her this tiny little piece of praise. But for Emily, a girl who is used to getting good grades in school, getting this kind of professional recognition, it feels like a massive victory. It's really the first time she feels like, okay, maybe I can actually do this. But all this success at work, it comes at a cost. Because as she gets better at her new life, she can feel the ghost of her old life, the life she was supposed to have, slipping further and further away. She's talking to her best friend Gladys, and she just lays out this really stark contrast. The old Emily, she worried about homework. The new Emily worries about bills. The old Emily dreamed about the future. The new Emily just feels her aching feet. She looks down at her hands and doesn't see the hands of a student anymore. She sees the calloused hands of a worker. It's like she's becoming someone she doesn't even recognize. And just when you think things can't get any harder, another blow lands. The family can't afford their house anymore. This is the home she grew up in, the home filled with all her memories of her father. The act of packing up his things, especially his paints, it's described as this mix of heartbreak and, oddly, relief. It's this painful, final cut from the life they used to have. And then, in the privacy of her new, much smaller bedroom, she admits something incredibly raw to Gladys. She asks, "Is that careable?" She's talking about being angry at her father. It's such a vulnerable moment. See, she's not just grieving him, she's angry at him. Angry for the carelessness that got him killed, and angry for leaving them with this impossible mess. And she's just terrified that feeling that anger makes her a bad person. Even her 17th birthday just hammers home her new reality. Most teenagers get fun, frivolous gifts. Not Emily. Her presents are basically tools for her job. A nice handkerchief and a manicure set. Why? To maintain that professional appearance Mrs. Patterson demands. New stockings? Why? Because she's on her feet all day long. Her entire life, even her birthday, is now completely defined by her work. So as the months tick by, the really sharp, painful edges of her new reality start to soften a little bit, settling into a routine. Look, this is absolutely not the life she would have chosen, but it's the life she's got. And even though her future is a total unknown, she is finding a way to get through the here and now. The rhythm of her life settles into this simple, kind of monotonous loop. Work, home, sleep, repeat. Work, home, sleep, repeat. But she's also getting savvy. She's learning the whole social ecosystem of the department store. Who to trust, who gossips, who's in charge. She isn't thriving, maybe, but she is surviving. And then, right in the middle of that routine, another little victory. Mrs. Patterson, the stern manager, actually gives her a small raise. It's not a lot of money, but that's not the point. It's a real, tangible symbol that she's good at what she does. It's proof that all her hard work, all her sacrifice is actually being noticed. And that brings us to December 1916. It's a really solemn milestone. It's been 1 year since her father's accident. And this particular evening sets the stage for a final, incredibly powerful conversation that really gets to the shared grief at the heart of this family. Her mother, Georgia, who has been this absolute pillar of strength through everything, she finally lets her guard down and reveals just how deep her own pain goes. She admits her husband wasn't perfect, but makes it clear how much she loved him, admitting that sometimes missing him is so strong she can barely even breathe. And Emily's grief, it mirrors her mother's. But there's a really important difference. Her mother misses her husband. Emily, she's mourning an entire future that was just stolen from her. She's grieving the life she was supposed to have, the one where she got to finish school, the one where all her dreams didn't have to be thrown away. And this is where we'll leave her story, with these powerful words of perspective from her mother. It's her mom's way of acknowledging the incredible sacrifice Emily has made, but it's also a promise that all of this, the hardship, the exhaustion, the grief, it's not the end. It's just one chapter, a really, really difficult one. And it just leaves you wondering, doesn't it? What's going to be written in the next chapter of her life?